to another video session. In this session, I'm going to be teaching you how to focus the microscope. Focusing of the microscope. So you want to make use of the microscope. You have an object that you need to view under the microscope, but you don't know how to go about it. That's what this video is all about. So it's important for you to know that for you to be able to focus the microscope, you must know the different parts of the microscope and the function of those parts of the microscope. So if you don't know the different parts of the microscope, you need to go back and watch the video where I talked about the different parts of the microscope. But in this video, I'll just be talking about how to use the microscope. So now, for you to use the microscope, you can either be required to view a wet preparation, that's a sample that is wet, or a sample that has been stained. And what do I mean by that? You can see I have a sample here. This is a blood sample. I've already made a thin film and I have stained it with Englishman stain. If I want to view this under the microscope, I must know the objective lens to use to view it, for me to be able to view it. Then I also have a blood sample here. If I want to view this blood sample under the microscope, maybe I want to check for the presence of microfilaria, for example, or probably in the blood bank I do a cross-matching or a Holmes test, and I want to view the red blood cells to look for the presence of hypermethylation. It's also important for me to know how to view it. So I'm going to start this morning by viewing this red blood cell under the microscope. So I'll just place a drop of it on the glass slide. Afterward, I'll get my cover slip. So this is a cover slip in case you are wondering what a cover slip is. So I'll place the cover slip on top of the sample, the drop of blood that I have placed on the glass slide. Then I'll place the glass slide on a mechanical stage and clip it with a stage clip. Remember when we talked about the different parts of the microscope. The ×4 objective lens is a scanning objective lens, as we said before. In order for you to view, any sample, you can place it on the stage and then put the ×4 objective lens in view. Look into the eyepiece. Use the diopter adjuster, to adjust the eyepiece, and then what you need to do afterward is to raise the coarse adjustment up. Just turn the coarse adjustment. As you are turning it, the stage will be going up. And now, with the ×4 objective lens, I already have the red blood cells in focus. I can see them, they're all over the place. The next thing I will do is to turn this to ×10. As in, I will rotate the nose piece. This is the ×4. Rotate it to ×10. And now that I have the ×10 in view, the next thing is for me to just use the fine adjustment. I'll just raise the fine adjustment. And now I can see the red blood cells under the microscope with the ×10 objective. You can say without ASU. Why? Because I started with that scanning objective lens. Just turn it to the ×10 objective lens, and then just have it at the back of your mind that you are moving forward. As in the coarse adjustment, you moved forward to raise the mechanical stage up for you to get the focus with the ×4 objective. By the time you place, you also turn the nose piece and you put the times 10 objective in view. All you need to do is just to turn the fine adjustment this time around, not the coarse adjustment. Turn the fine adjustment forward. Just move it forward. By the time you move it like 3 or 4 times, definitely you will get the focus of the times 10 objective. And then now I'm going to the times 40 objective. The same thing I did, what I'm going to do with this times 40 objective lens, as I looked into it, it's a little bit dark. So what I'm going to do is to just open the iris diaphragm a little, not completely. If you open it completely, that will be too much. Just open it a little for more light to enter. Then with the fine adjustment, I'm still going to move the fine adjustment forward. I'm not moving it towards myself now. I'll move it forward. This is one. And now I have my red cells in focus, and that's all. I am done with the focusing. If you try this method, believe me, trust me, you're going to get it right. So that's how to focus wet prep under the microscope. And but you also need to know a condenser should be wrapped down. When you are viewing anything with a times 10 objective and times 40 objective, ensure that the condenser is lowered so that you reduce the amount of, because you don't need much light for you to view with the low power and the high power objective lens. So that is all about the focusing of wet preparation. Now, this is my tint preparation. I have this tint here and I want to view it under the microscope. For me to view it, I'm going to need what we call immersion oil. And I have my immersion oil inside this bottle. So all you need to do is to open the bottle and place a drop of the immersion oil on the slide at the tail end of the slide, not at the head. You know, the slide has both head and tail. But when you want to view any stained object like this preparation, you're going to work at the tail end, and that's where you put the immersion oil. So for me to do that, I'll wrap down the stage with the coarse adjustment, and then I'm starting with the ×4 objective lens, which is the scanning objective lens, just to be sure that there's something on the slide. Yes, and I can see that clearly. Now it is on focus with the ×4. Now let me change it to ×10, which I have done. So once you change it to ×10 objective lens, all you need to do is just to touch your fine adjustment, just briefly. You can see, and I've already focused with the ×10 objective. I'm already seeing the cells under the microscope. But you should know that with ×10, ×4, ×10, ×40 objective, and you don't need much light. So in this case now, I'm going to close the diaphragm. I've reduced the light by closing the diaphragm. Even the condenser, I've lowered the condenser. So with the ×10 objective lens, I can see it clearly, but the cells are very small. So now I'm turning it to ×40. Once you turn to ×40, all you need to do is also to move the fine adjustment forward a little. And I have my focus already here. Once you've done that, the next thing is you want to go to ×100 objective lens, because that's where we're going to do the activities. that we need to do. So I've changed it to times 100 objective length. In this case, I'm going to increase, I'm going to raise the condenser and then open the diaphragm. I've opened the diaphragm now. So all I need to do is just to move the fine adjustments forward just a little, and then I have it. I've already focused.